This video, what we're going to do is we're going to look back again. I'm just going to use this as an example, this character, and it doesn't particularly matter now that this is in the A pose. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the quick rig tools, but this time we're going to look at the step-by-step option. So select our mesh, hit this little plus symbol here. You can see there now it's gone from character none to quick rig character. It's basically made its own name. We could rename this character if we really wanted to. Rename character test, and you should see that update here as well. None, and go back test. It's done its thing there. Select the mesh, and then geometry. The first option we'll come to, hit plus and just add that. So human body, there we go, lovely, that's great. The next option, embed method, doesn't really make a great deal of difference unless of course the mesh isn't closed. So for that I would maybe recommend Polygon Soup or Imperfect Mesh. If the mesh is fully sealed all the way around, as in there are no holes anywhere in sort of underneath, behind, anything like that, one of the top two options will help. So I'm going to hit watertight mesh and leave resolution at 256. I'm pretty happy with that. So what I want to do is guide settings, create guides, and what this will do is it will drop down a selection of polygons, a selection of joints into the character. If we need to make these joints bigger, let's go from display, animation, joint size, and then just make the joints bigger or smaller if we need them bigger or smaller. And we're just going to move these around. All I'm doing is just hitting W on the keyboard, and we're just going to position these around just so. Okay, so I'm just going to position these. I'm going to move the clavicle, pull this forward and position it, give or take roughly where it should be. And you can see there, obviously there's no symmetry this side. What you have to actually do is hit this user adjustments or guides, symmetry, and you'll see that pop over there. I'm just going to grab these two joints here and just position these just so. There we go. And again, likewise, we're just going to position these, give or take. And you see that little pop, the knee. Let's just position this. You can see that little bit of an adjustment that Maya has made. Little pop there for the opposite side. We're just going to grab this joint, pull it out, move it forward, and again pop. We just need now adjust the elbows. You can see here actually how these joint placement in the previous rig, the one click option, this is actually where the elbow was placed. So you can see Maya had gotten it very wrong, so now we have a little bit more control over that. So yeah, and I'm just going to position these, and I'm just going to hit symmetry tool, select the elbow, symmetry tool, and I'm pretty happy with that. The next stage is skeleton and rig generation, so I'm just going to leave this. You could leave it at default for the time being, but if you wanted to experiment with any of the settings, you're more than welcome to have a little look. If you wanted to add in more joints within the spine, neck, etc., can add all those. Any extra joints, hip translation, things like that, you can do all that. Right, okay, so what we're going to do now is skeleton and control rig. So it's going to build the skeleton and control rig. I'm just going to hit create, and based on the placement of these joints, it's going to create a series of controls, much like what you guys have done in the previous few videos, create your own custom controls. And now the final option, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to, I'm going to actually change the skinning method within Maya. I'm going to go bind skin, change this to geodesic voxel, dual quaternion, and close that up. And then I'm going to change this binding method, current settings, and that's going to take the settings from up here and apply them to the rig. So we should see those take place. And then now what we should get is a slightly more controllable, slightly more articulated kind of character rig. We're getting some pretty decent bends from it. We're not getting horrendous bends. We still need to look at the paint weights under there, which you would expect, because it's in the A pose. If it was in the T pose, it would be much better. But on the whole, this is pretty decent, and this is pretty good for, whoa, that was kind of cool. So you can see we've got a great deal of control with this, so we can kind of push it up or down. And this would be a really nice tool to use for people that aren't maybe too confident with life drawing. So you know, you could maybe use this as a little bit of a puppet to sort of manipulate and pose up how best you guys are maybe wanting to develop a few character poses, holding props or something like that might be a good start for you. Okay, so that's a few of the options. There's one more final option which we can go through. So you can see there, this has given us a whole range of flexibility with literally with the rig. So you can have quite a bit of fun with it, and it's great because it's inbuilt into Maya, and yeah, there's some cool stuff, and obviously all this is very user friendly, keyable as well. So let's say you wanted to just start animating, auto keys turned on, so you could, if you really wanted to, and you didn't want to use your own character rig, you could kind of use this tool as well, and you can get some pretty crazy kind of animations going. So yeah, that's, you know, same sort of process. This is slightly more automated, that's the point that I'm making, but the main thing is that you're getting used to the tools, and you're made aware of those tools and how you can kind of go about them, but you also have these options within the Quick Rig and Human IK tools. Right, okay, I'm going to close that video up, and then I'll see you in the next video, which is what we will be looking at is Skeleton Human IK. And it's actually this panel here. What we'll be doing, we'll be working within this, and we'll be setting it up exclusively within this. And basically what this will allow us to do is plug our character directly into a motion capture rig, which is obviously something that we've been looking at. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.